The fifth lesson is celibacy or brahmacharya, which is the basis of successful human life. Meaning, brahmacharya is a broad term. It has several meanings. In the general, simple meaning of brahmacharya or celibacy or continence is preservation of vital seminal fluid or virya. In other words, it means abstinence from sexual activity. Celibacy or brahmacharya is to be observed not only in deed, physical activity, but also in thoughts, mental thinking, and in word, verbal speech. Necessity. Observance of celibacy or brahmacharya is necessary for achieving success in one's secular life in the form of achievement of material prosperity and fulfillment of vital worldly desires. It is also necessary for achieving success in one's spiritual life in the form of observance of dharma or performance of righteous conduct or ethical conduct, and performance of adhyatmika sadhana or spiritual practices. Thus, celibacy or brahmacharya is the basis of successful human life, both secular and spiritual. Hence, the necessity of observance of celibacy or brahmacharya in human life is immense in nature. Importance. Human beings live on food in this iron age. From food, juice or chyle is produced. From juice, blood is prepared. From blood, flesh. From flesh, fat. From fat, bones. And from bones, marrow is made. From marrow, semen or virya is produced. This is how semen is finally made in the human body. Semen is thus the seventh product of food. Rasad raktam tato mamsam mansamedah prajayate medasosthi tato majja majja sukrasya sambhavah. Semen is the last essence of food. It is regarded as the essence of essences. It is highly necessary for happy, peaceful, and successful human existence. Wastage of semen will make human life miserable, unhappy, restless, and failure. Thus, semen is tremendously vital, most precious, absolutely necessary, and extremely important for human beings. Or such is the importance of observance of celibacy or brahmacharya in human life. Celibacy or brahmacharya contributes a great deal in keeping up good physical health, empowering of the mind, building up noble character, and performance of ethical conduct, and thereby building up human life properly and strongly. It also contributes a great deal for achievement of material prosperity, fulfillment of vital worldly desires, observance of dharma or performance of righteous conduct, and performance of adhyatmika sadhana or spiritual practices, and thereby living of human life completely and successfully. That is, both economically prosperously and spiritually happily and peacefully. But without observance of celibacy or brahmacharya, physical health will be weak, poor, and sick. Mind will be weak. Thoughts will be negative. Thinking will be scattered. Willpower will be weak. Memory power will be weak. And concentration power will be low. One cannot build noble character and cannot perform ethical actions. As a result, building up human life will be improper and weak. Also, one cannot acquire great material prosperity, cannot fulfill his vital worldly desires, cannot properly observe dharma or perform righteous conduct, cannot effectively perform adhyatmika sadhana or spiritual practices. Then living of human life will be incomplete and unsuccessful. both economically poor and spiritually unhappy and restless. Such is the importance of observance of celibacy or brahmacharya in a human life. Observance of celibacy or brahmacharya contributes significantly in developing an impressive, magnetic, charming, and brilliant personality. Celibacy or brahmacharya bestows victory and success in all fields and all activities of human life. When semen or birya is once lost, it cannot be recouped even in one's lifetime by taking any amount of nutritious food or any type of potent medicines. Falling or wastage of semen brings incurable sickness and premature death, but its preservation gives good health and long life. Shiva Samhita says, Maranam Bindupatena Jivanam Bindu Dharanat. That is, death is hastened by letting out semen from the body. Life is saved and prolonged by preserving it in the body. One of the students of Dhanvantari approached his teacher after finishing his full course of Ayurveda and asked him, "O Bhagavan, kindly let me know the secret of health now." Dhanvantari replied, "This birya or seminal energy is verily Atman. The secret of health lies in the preservation of this vital force. He who wastes this energy cannot have physical, mental, moral, and spiritual development." Such is the importance of brahmacharya or celibacy in human life. Thus, observance of celibacy or brahmacharya is extremely important in human life. Our great, glorious, lofty, unique, and ideal ancient Indian culture or Bharatiya Sanskriti also places great emphasis on observance of celibacy or brahmacharya. Because observance of celibacy or brahmacharya is the basis of successful human life, both secular and spiritual. Types of celibacy or brahmacharya in different stages in human life. According to our great Indian culture or Bharatiya Sanskriti, human life has 4 stages or ashramas. Those are student life or brahmacharya ashrama, householder life or grihastha ashrama, retired life or vanaprastha ashrama, and secluded life or sannyasa ashrama. Celibacy or brahmacharya is of 2 types, that is complete celibacy and partial celibacy. Complete celibacy means full preservation of semen without wasting even a single drop of it, or total abstinence from sexual activities or sexual enjoyments. Partial celibacy means limited use of semen for permissible legitimate purpose. Our holy scriptures and our saints, sages, rishis, munis, and yogins say that complete celibacy in thought, word, and deed is to be observed during 3 stages of ashramas of human life. That is, during student life or brahmacharya ashrama, retired life or vanaprastha ashrama, and secluded life or sannyasa ashrama. And that partial celibacy is to be observed during 1 stage or ashrama only of human life, that is during householder life or grihastha ashrama. Our holy scriptures and our saints, sages, rishis, and munis say that the householders are permitted to have legitimate sexual activities for the only purpose of getting progeny and thereby help continuation of the creation of the Creator. Sri Swami Sivananda Saraswati and Sri Swami Chidananda Saraswati say that the householders are allowed to have legitimate sexual intercourse with their spouses once in a month at the proper time, only without the idea of sexual enjoyment, but just to get progeny in order to keep up their line and help continuation of the creation of the Creator. They further say that after the householder's great progeny and their line is kept up, they ought to stop sexual activities forever and observe complete celibacy and preserve the vital semen for achieving success in their spiritual pursuits, which is the supreme goal of human life upon the earth plane according to our great Indian culture or Bharatiya Sanskriti. They further say that the nature of sex desire of human beings is such that it never gets satisfied. Rather, the more one enjoys sexual pleasures, the more becomes his desire to enjoy the same again and again. Also, a mild sex desire becomes a strong passion by frequent repetition of sexual activity and enjoyment. But if one stops sexual activity forever, his sex desire will gradually get vanished or become extinct. This has been explained with the illustration of the sacrificial fire and ghee. When one pours ghee in the fire, the flame of the fire rises high. When one continues to pour more and more ghee in the fire, its flame goes on rising higher and higher. But when one stops pouring further ghee in the fire gradually gets extinguished. Therefore, they say that after getting progeny, human beings should utilize their viveka or power of discrimination, think again and again of the fatal consequences of wastage of seminal energy and the immense benefits of observance of celibacy, and ought to stop sexual activities forever, and then their sexual desire will gradually get vanished. However, they exhort that if the householders cannot exercise control over their sex desire and cannot observe complete celibacy during householder life or grihastha asrama, they should be moderate and rational in sexual activities. Even birds and animals exercise self-control and perform sexual activity rationally. Lions cohabit only once in a year. After conception, the female animals never allow the male animals to approach them till the young animals were weaned and they themselves become healthy and strong. Men only violate the law of nature, perform sexual activities frequently and irrationally, and they degenerate themselves to a far lower level than animals in this respect. Thereby they suffer from innumerable and incurable diseases. Nonetheless, it is wise for them to take the help of their power of discrimination and endeavor their best to control their sex desire and observe complete celibacy, preserve the most vital and precious seminal energy, and utilize the same for their spiritual growth in their own interest and for their highest welfare and supreme good. Thereby, they will derive the immense benefits of observance of celibacy or brahmacharya. In connection with observance of celibacy or brahmacharya, Sri Swami Chidananda Saraswati explains that the sex organ is a sanitary device and a drainage system of human body, and is primarily meant for elimination of liquid waste materials, that is urine from the body. It is like the other drainage system, that is the anus, which eliminates excrement or feces, the major solid part of the waste material of the human body. The other specialized occasional purpose and use of the sex organ is for giving birth of children in order to keep up progeny, so that the creation of the Almighty Supreme Lord keeps on continuing. This, he says, is the right perspective of the body and its various parts. If one understands this well, he will not be obsessed with the sexual part of this particular organ. Therefore, once the special purpose of keeping up progeny is achieved, the sexual activity ought to be stopped. because he says that the sex organ is not meant to be misused for deriving sexual enjoyment or sensual pleasures, and also because of the fact that wastage of seminal energy proves fatal in one's life. This fact gives rise to the paramount necessity and importance of preservation of seminal energy and observance of celibacy or brahmacharya in one's life. This fact is most worthwhile and is to be noted and remembered always. As our holy scriptures and our saints, sages, rishis, munis, and yogins further say, semen, when preserved by observance of celibacy or brahmacharya, gets transmuted into Ojasakti or spiritual energy through the practice of yoga. This Sakti or energy contributes considerably in carrying out spiritual practices for achieving success in one's spiritual life. Another important point regarding preservation of the seminal energy is like this. No human being will ever want to waste his precious food, because he cannot hope to survive when profuse blood, the essence of food that he consumes, goes out of his body. Similarly, no human being can hope to live a healthy, long, happy, peaceful life when his most precious semen, which is the ultimate essence of food that he consumes and is produced out of 40 drops of blood, goes out of the body through uncontrolled, frequent, indiscriminate, and irrational sexual activities, which is aimed at deriving momentary sexual pleasure only. In view of this, should any human being ever desire to waste even a single drop of his semen? Certainly not. One should not. One must not. Therefore, human beings ought not to waste semen, the essence of the human body, and the life force, for gaining mere and momentary sexual pleasure. Rather, it is wise for them to utilize the same for the higher spiritual purpose of the rarest of the rare and most precious human life, in their own interest and for their highest good and supreme welfare. In this connection, it is most important to note that at times students and the youth are advised that sex desire is a natural urge, and in case there is desire for sex, it should be given expression instead of being suppressed, because they say that suppression of sex desire will lead to mental abnormalities. Our saints and sages say that this is not right. Swami Chidananda Saraswati, one of the great world-renowned and illumined modern saints, says, there is a Western idea that sex is a natural urge, and so free expression should be given to it. And if free expression is not given to it, the sex urge will become suppressed and will become repressed. And if it is thus suppressed and repressed, it will create all sorts of abnormalities within you, and you will develop neurosis and various types of complex, and you will become an abnormal person. There is partial truth in it. There is truth in it to the extent that if the suppression and repression is forced upon you by circumstances beyond your control, by social environment, by other taboos and deep-seated inhibitions within you, due to your father's advice or mother's dominance or family and all, then it can give rise to some undesirable inner abnormality. But this situation never applies if realizing the greatness of a higher goal and realizing the necessity of the important sadhana of self-control in order to attain that goal, you make up your mind fully, willingly and voluntarily, then there is no question of suppression. If with a full willing heart you enter into this course of self-discipline and self-restraint, then there is no question of suppression. No one is asking you to do it. You want to do it. You are yourself desirous of it. So done with full willingness, done with great enthusiasm. It becomes a voluntary thing. Then psychological situations will not arise. On the contrary, every time you succeed in controlling the sense urge, you get a sense of elation, you get a sense of achievement, you get a sense of inner satisfaction that you have succeeded. So it is something that goes on giving you endless satisfaction and a sense of triumph, a sense of overcoming. Therefore, it is entirely a positive process, a very creative and positive process, not a negative and suppressive process. So, regarding brahmacharya, if you take the right approach and attitude towards it, then it is simple. It is a question of conserving energy, of preserving energy, so that it may be utilized for higher things which you wish to attain. Therefore, whenever there is desire for sex or lust in the mind, one should not suppress the same, but should voluntarily and willingly eliminate it from his mind through right understanding and other methods. Oh.